Now it's time for your news break. Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm Eric Greitens with the Daily Star Journal's Newsbreak.
On the 8th, we're going to put an end to politics as usual. We're taking our state back.
Republican nominee for governor Eric Greitens stopped through Warrensburg on Saturday. According to the St. Louis Dispatch on Saturday, the race for governor is a statistical tie.
Our mission for the people of Missouri is more jobs, higher pay, safer streets, and better schools for all Missourians.
During his visit, Greitens slammed his opponent, Chris Koster.
And he said he supports Obamacare. Folks, this is a broken program, full of broken promises. Remember they told you if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor? Yeah. Remember they told you your premiums would go down when in fact your premiums are going up? Just the other day, the Democratic governor of Minnesota came out and said that Obamacare is completely unaffordable. And in a moment of lightning strike clarity, even President Bill Clinton just came out and said Obamacare is the craziest thing in the world. But this is the program that my opponent said, not only does he support Obamacare, he said he wants more Obamacare.
On Friday, Eva Mozes Kor visited the University of Central Missouri to share her story. The Daily Star Journal's Jack Miles tells us how Kor learned the art of forgiveness.
Hundreds hear a message on the value of forgiveness at the University of Central Missouri. Eva Mozes Kor, 82, has more to forgive than most people. At the University of Central Missouri, Kor used gentle humor that generates smiles and laughter and applause while telling of her life experiences. The hall of hundreds becomes quiet as Kor tells her story. At age 10, she joins her family as they are herded into a standing room only train car made for cattle. They travel 4 days without food or water. The car door opens on the selection platform at Auschwitz death camp. Within minutes, Nazis take her parents and 2 older sisters to die in shower rooms that disperse a deadly gas, Zyklon B. The Nazis intend to tattoo Kor, but she fights them.
People restrained me, 2 Nazis and 2 women prisoners, and they pinned me on a bench while they heated a gadget. It looked to me like a long needle attached to a handle, and they heated the needle over the flame of a lamp. When the needle got hot, they dipped it into ink, and then they burned onto my left arm, dot by dot.
After 4 members of the master race combine to subdue and tattoo her, Kor and her twin sister are taken to a barracks and given a filthy bed. She felt physically and mentally drained.
But as I was tossing and turning, I noticed something big and dark moving on the floor. I counted them. When I got to 5, I jumped up screaming, "Mice! Mice! These are big mice!" A girl from the top bunk said, "Silly kid, these are not mice, they are rats, and you better get used to them because they are everywhere." And they were.
Unable to sleep, Kor and her twin went to the latrine.
And as we entered the place, there on the filthy latrine floor were the scattered corpses of 3 children. I have never ever seen anybody dead before, but it became clear to me that in this place children were dying.
The Nazis spare Kor and her twin sister Miriam. The Nazis at the camp kept alive sets of twins kept only for use in deadly experiments conducted by the camp's doctor, Josef Mengele.
I was used in 2 types of experiments. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, after our brownish liquid breakfast, we would be taken to a lab, placed naked in a room for up to 8 hours. They would measure in the most minute detail every part of my body. Then they compare it to Miriam. Then they compare it to Charles. These experiments were not dangerous, but they were unbelievably demeaning, and even in Auschwitz, I couldn't cope with it, The only way I could cope with it is by blocking it out of my mind. On alternate days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we will be taken to another lab that I call the blood lab. There, they would tie both of my arms to restrict the blood flow. Take a lot of blood from my left arm, give me a minimum of 5 injections into my right arm at the same time. Those were the deadly ones. We had no idea what they were then, nor do I know today. The rumor in the camp was that they were germs, diseases, and drugs, and that is probably a pretty good assumption.
After injecting Kor with something Mengele pronounces that Kor will die.
They didn't tie my arms for blood taking, they measured my fever, and I knew I had a very high fever. I was taken to the hospital. In addition to having a high fever, my arms and legs were swollen and very painful, and I had huge red spots throughout my body. Next morning, Dr. Mengele came in with 4 other doctors. He never ever examined me. All he did, he looked at my fever chart, and then he declared, laughing sarcastically. He said, "Too bad. She is so young. She has only 2 weeks to live." I knew he was right, but I refused to die.
Against the odds, Kor and her twin survived the camp and the war. After returning home to Transylvania and living with an aunt, they leave Soviet tyranny. Kor becomes an Israeli sergeant major and manages to survive, moving to Terre Haute, Indiana. Kor and her sister start an organization, Candles for Twins, who survived Auschwitz. She also lectures. As a result of her lecture, she makes a connection with a former Auschwitz doctor. The doctor describes the shower rooms, a place of mass executions. Instead of water, deadly Zyklon B gas drops on to the victims.
And I heard myself say, "Dr. Munch, while you were in Auschwitz, did you ever walk by a gas chamber? Did you ever go inside the gas chamber?" And he said to me, "That is my problem. That is my nightmare that I live with every single day of my life." And he went on describing the operation of the gas chamber. He said, people would be told that they are going to take a shower. The shower rooms were cleaned, polished, and they would even spread perfume. So as the victims were entering the shower room, they felt very comfortable. Once the shower room was packed, the doors closed, Dr. Munch was stationed outside, looking through a peephole. The gas did not come from the shower heads. Zyklon B, you can Google it, looks like pellets of white gravel. They were packed in canisters, opened outside the roof, and dropped through vent-like openings. And they fell to the floor. Zyklon B fell to the floor. It operated like dry ice, so the gas was rising from the floor. People were trying to get away from the rising gas. They would climb on top of each other, forming a little mountain of intermingled bodies. When the people on the top of the pile stopped moving, he knew that everybody was dead, and he signed one death certificate. No name, just the number of people who were murdered. I have been dealing with the Holocaust over 15 years. I have never read anything like that in any book or in any testimony. To me, that was an unbelievably important thing, and I told Dr. Munch what I thought and asked him to go with me to Auschwitz in 1995 when I was planning to attend the 50th anniversary to the liberation of the camp. And he said he wanted to go with me.
Eventually, Kor says she comes to understand there's only one way to remove the weight of her pain: forgiveness. Returning to Auschwitz, Kor forgave those who gave her such pain.
And I immediately felt that all the pain I carried around for 50 years was lifted from my shoulder. I was no longer a victim of Auschwitz, nor was I a prisoner of my tragic past. I was free of Auschwitz and I was free of Magdalene. Forgiveness, in my opinion, is nothing more and nothing less, but an act of self-healing, self-liberation, and self-empowerment. I call forgiveness the best revenge, because from the moment you forgive the Nazis, they no longer have any power or influence over your life.
After her talk, UCM modern German history professor Thomas Goldstein said, Kor is an exceptional person.
I think that, first of all, it's a wonder to hear any Holocaust survivor come and talk to students. I think it's a really important opportunity just because there are relatively few nowadays, and so I think it's a great resource for the students to learn about. But specifically with Eva Kor, I think that her message of forgiveness is, as I first started reading about it and then hearing about it today, I think it's so remarkable to go through the things that she did, the horrible things that were done to her, the terrible crimes committed against her, and to somehow find forgiveness for the people that did that, I think is an astounding achievement and something that I think should inspire us and everyone that listens to her message today. So I think it's an incredible message, and I'm really glad that she was able to share it. Yeah.
In sports, the Warrensburg cross-country teams are sending 5 runners to the state meet this upcoming weekend. Marquette Wilhite, Colton Palmer, Nathan Manning, Rihanna Grisdale, and April Holland will represent the Tigers at the state meet. However, Warrensburg will not be able to send the whole team to state, as the girls finished 3rd and the boys finished 4th. Another high school football season came to a close Friday night. Crestridge fell to Skyline 57-30. The Cougars went 8-3 on the year. On Saturday, Central Missouri hosted Central Oklahoma. The Broncos came out firing on all cylinders as the Mules came out slow. After trailing 14-0, the Mules kicked it into gear and blew the Broncos out, winning 48-28. Quarterback Garrett Fugate threw for 3 touchdowns and ran for 2 more.
This team all year's been really resilient, even with big deficits and stuff in games, and we've always come back, and that's kind of just what I told them. Head up, next play is going to be a good one. Always one play away from beautiful days, but Coach Bodo always says, kind of just, that next play mentality, the pass is the pass, whatever, but we just kind of keep pushing it, and that's what we did. Ended up making some big plays when it counted.
That's all we have for you now. Find more news and feature stories in Tuesday's Daily Star Journal. Thanks for watching, and have a happy Halloween.
Every parent, every